Ladies and gentlemen, let me fix my Rabbi Jew Barker bandana. Let me fix that bandana and then put on the construction helmet. Because in theory, well, it's kind of like when does a when does life begin? Does it begin at the inception where a spermatozoid hits an egg, or does it begin when the baby starts a heartbeat, or does it life begin when the baby is born? So did the hotel construction begin when I rented the property, or did the hotel construction begin when I started acquiring plans and permits, or did the hotel construction begin when the plans and permits were signed off on? Or is it the next stage of the hotel development? Did the hotel development or the life of the hotel project, did it begin when I excavated 250 cubic yards of coral from the ground? Did the hotel development and or construction project begin when I bought commercial cargo containers to the Philippines full of equipment and supplies? Or does the hotel equipment that it previously existed, is that non-negotiable as the beginning of the hotel project, and now we have to start buying new equipment that's going to be necessary for the hotel project to begin? Does the hotel project begin now that I'm acquiring small heavy equipment such as rebar bending tools, thanks to Scott Del Fuego's research, the vibrating tool for the cement, which is basically non-existent in and on the island of Bohol. That tool is just, it's like hen's teeth. Hens don't have teeth. I went to probably, there's only about 8 stores you can go to, and when you ask for the vibration concrete tool, they all know what it is, and they all basically just said, out of stock, sir. And again, because of the lockdown, you can't order any tools. So, well, you can order them and you can even deposit them and pay for them, but they can't get the tools shipped from anywhere. Even I say this in every live stream. If the tools are in the Republic of the Philippines, and if the supplier I ask for certain equipment has a contact on that island or that province, maybe, and only maybe, can the tools be shipped from those islands or provinces. For instance, when I went to City Hardware 2 days ago, they were going to get me the lift that will lift up a 1-bag mix of concrete up as high as 47 feet. And that machine, that lift mechanism, is in Davao. Right now, today, it's there. They can see it. It's on the floor of their supply house, but they can't ship it to Bohol for some reason. Or even though it's right there in the store, in front of them, on the ground, in the banded box or package that it comes in, for some reason, it could take 30 to 90 days to ship it, but they want you to pay half up front, which is typical. So it's not out of the question, but they're not guaranteeing a date. Now, so if you backtrack these people, let's backtrack. Ma'am, and she's a sweetheart. She's trying to sell the product. When was the last time you got a shipment from Davao? And the answer, no one knows. So it goes back in as far as shipments from Davao with stuff they needed. It goes back far enough that no one remembers if and or when they got a shipment. So it's not like a weekly thing. So when the request for the money of half up front is reasonable, I think I'm going to wait until they can give me a precise shipping arrival date. Because don't forget, even once it arrives, if it arrives, they wouldn't give me a guarantee for my money back in a 30 or 45-day period. They said, we will have to check with corporate for that. So basically what they're saying is, you give us a 60,000 peso deposit, and maybe our corporate headquarters will give you a contract, or maybe we can write up a contract to give you back your money if the product isn't shipped in 45 days. So business is business. I said, I requested the contract that the money will be returned in 45 days if the product isn't delivered from the time of the deposit. But they don't want to do it like that. So I'll just hold off on ordering the equipment. Now, they have the equipment, but why would I give somebody 60,000 pesos or $1,200 with no set date for delivery? It's not good business. Good business is to put in the contract, in 45 days, if the product isn't here, we'll give you back your money. But they don't want to do that. And it does have a lot to do with their paperwork at corporate. But I just said, okay, I'll wait. So let's get on with have a nice day. Shiny Rhythm Blog. Hello. These people that are, we'll talk about the trolls. Look, we have Shiny Rhythm Blog is not so much a troll. He's been a long-term viewer, but the other guy is. What's his name? Piss Pride. Hey, Jesus Christ! What is wrong with you fucking people? What is wrong with you fucking people? Let's talk about my notes. Let's go to my notes because I have notes. Mike Chef, hello. You're a new one. Be careful. Don't say anything derogatory on my channel, Mike. I don't actually remember your name. Welcome. John Escape. Hello, Mike. Keep up the great work. Now, John Escape is a personal friend of mine who does not believe, by the way, nor do any of us believe, no matter how many times it's posted and no matter how many times it's said by, now I'm looking at 4 definite troll accounts that are posting shit in honor of the most despised blogger on YouTube, in honor of his greatness, in honor of his tenacity. There are 4 definite troll accounts. You keep up the good work. You're the best. You're number one. Now, I don't know if you're doing it to break his balls or you're doing it to spite me. And I don't care. But one thing I do know for sure is that 4 troll accounts that I remember the names for specifically are now trolling people's channels against my person. And I thought everybody was going to drop this subject, but apparently not. Apparently not. So that might be a topic for another day. Now, so no one believes, none of the other group or inner circle of friends, no one believes that Jack Thompson is the person that gave up the information. And they cannot believe it because Jack Thompson never had that information that was given up. Now, I will say one more thing. One of my friends received more requests to go on a certain blogger's show just yesterday morning. So that is basically going to be considered harassment. And there might be a follow-up with an investigation about that. So they don't want to hear your voice. They don't want to hear your comments. They don't want any more requests for any of my friends to testify on your behalf. There's nothing to testify on your behalf unless somebody's feeding you bullshit from the other end of the spectrum. So I just wanted to make that known. And I do want to talk about trolls, but I want to talk about my notes here. I got to get to my notes. So the first question is the cement mixer video that I posted yesterday, is that CGI, that I was in a warehouse and or construction yard that sells heavy equipment? Was I there? CGI? Was that not, was like did I imagine myself to be there? Did I not help, if not actually instruct the men how to install the new motor? Because apparently there are trolls that keep saying he doesn't know anything about construction. Well, all you have to do is just watch that video, and you'll see that not only do I know more about construction than probably anybody else, except this man, Graham, Grame. I don't know who Graham is, and I thank Graham for stopping by my channel. I picture this, the way Graham speaks about construction and the smoothness of what he writes in regards to construction knowledge makes me believe that Graham he's not a backyard mechanic, that's for sure. He's probably closer to a huge corporate superintendent of jobs, plural, and probably had his own construction company or satellites of the bigger construction company that he runs exclusively, because he knows a lot about construction. And again, the things I was talking about as far as, I think it was Adirondack asked me yesterday, how come I need a rebar bender? And the question was reasonable. I don't know if it was trolling or not, but it was a good question. Adirondack said, why, Mr. Fazio, why would you want to buy a rebar bender when you can just heat up those bars with an oxyacetylene torch and bend them like jelly? Well, you can do that. I told Adirondack you could do that yesterday, but it's, first of all, there's many reasons. Number one, it's illegal. The steel comes out of the rebar bending machine that makes the rebar bender, and it's called cold, C-O-L-D, rolled, R-O-L-L-E-D. And it comes out and it's pressed under tremendous pressure, hundreds of tons of pressure, into the shape that the rebar is in. When you heat the bar up to make it glow red and you bend it, 60% or more of the strength of the rebar is gone. So if the building code calls for, let's say, 4 rebars, and you put 4 1-inch rebars, and you put 4 1-inch rebars in, and you bend the 4 bottoms on a 90-degree angle, well, really, you only have the strength of 2 rebars or less. So the building isn't built to code. That's number one. So the strength reduction. How many people out there would know that? Well, all contractors would know it. So you have to bend those bars cold, and that's what a rebar bender does. Now, the second reason that you don't want to heat those bars up is because it's illegal to do that. It's illegal because it reduces the strength by 60%. So, and the third reason you don't want to do that is if it's your building that you're building, why would you build a building that's only 35 or 40% the strength in what is considered an earthquake part of the world where there are earthquakes and tremors? Now, to answer Adirondac's question, I did go by a job, and I remember exactly where the job is, and I remember watching the men. I remember watching the men. They were taking these 1.5-inch rebars, which is a big building, and they were dragging, like 3 men were jumping on one rebar and taking it all the way to the back of the property, not from the front of the property, not all the way, but 100 feet back, which is far to carry it, a 75 or a 90-pound piece of steel, and or more. I guess it would probably weigh more than that. And they had a wood, like a tent set up, but the tent blocked. It blocked the street. It blocked the view from the street. And what they were doing back there is they were taking a torch and heating up the rebar, and then they were just bending it with just one man on a 3-foot piece of pipe. And then they were dipping it in coal tar, COAL, coal tar, so that you couldn't see where the metal fractured when they bent it. And I went back there. I had to buy some hydraulic. Well, I was looking for some hydraulic hoses, and the hydraulic shop was let me view where the men were. And I was laughing with them because they know why I was laughing. I went like this, and they were laughing because they had no way to bend the rebar, and they were using torches. Now, probably that building will last 100 years, but it's illegal to do that. So, but the point is that you people say, I have no construction knowledge. Watch the video with me. How do you make cement blocks? Oh, and by the way, how am I even allowed? How am I even allowed? How is Michael Fazio even allowed into that construction yard? It wasn't an office. It wasn't a sales office. I wasn't waiting on a couch for a piece of equipment. I was actually installing a 10-horsepower diesel engine into my new cement mixer, because when I went to that yard 3 days ago, the owner, who's a friend of mine, by the way, he said he would have his men prep the machine. This is going back 3 solid days from today. And I called up early in the morning, and I said, no, don't do that. Don't have the men prep the machine. I will like to be there. I will prep the machine. And he said, it's okay. We'll have the machine ready for you by 1 o'clock. So when I went there at 1 o'clock, or 2 o'clock, actually it was 3 o'clock. When I went there, first thing you do when you're going to buy heavy equipment, you do 3 things. You check the oil. Now, how do you check the oil? A real man has a way of knowing what the oil will tell you what the problem is if there's a problem. A real man would take the oil and put some on his fingers and smush it between his fingers and smell it. Number one, you'll smell carbon or burnt oil. If you smell burnt oil, then there's a problem with the machine, number one. Number two, a real man would take that same little smush of oil and taste it, because then you can taste the stuff that you cannot smell. And the third reason that you check the oil is to see if there's oil in it. That's the first thing you do. You don't do anything else. Those are the first things. Then, so when I got to the machine that was supposed to be prepped, I see this machine that's probably been laying in the yard not a very long time, a few months for sure, because of the dust. You could tell by how much dust is on the machine, on the motor, which is bad for the motor for a lot of reasons. I'll give you 3 reasons. Number one, it stops the motor from breathing, from allowing the heat to dissipate through the heating coils. So I wasn't happy about seeing all that dust when I walked up on the machine, because now you have to power wash it to clean it up with soap, and that's a whole nother job. That's the first reason. The second reason is at night or during the day, the dust absorbs moisture, and then that oxidizes the aluminum and metal parts and causes rust. And the third reason is motors are not supposed to be dusty. That's just the way it is. Because they are, and because people don't know how to take care of equipment, doesn't mean it's right. So that was the second thing I didn't like about the machine. And then when I moved around to the side of the machine 3 days ago, I explained how to start a diesel engine, a hand-pulled diesel engine. I explained it in yesterday's cement mixer video. There's a compression relief switch on all hand-pulled diesel engines that reduces the compression so you can pull it. Otherwise, you cannot start by hand most diesel engines unless you're Superman. So I explained that in yesterday's video. So who knows this stuff unless you know what equipment is? So when I went to pull the cord on the machine 3 days ago, the motor was seized up solid. It wasn't hard to pull. It wasn't extremely hard to pull. It was impossible to turn the engine over, because when I checked to see if there was oil in the engine, there was none. So there's a reason for that. When they ship anybody, anywhere in the world, any motor, doesn't matter whether it's a electric motor or gasoline or diesel powered motor. It doesn't matter if it's a car, a piece of heavy equipment, or a crane. It makes no difference. When you ship equipment that has a reservoir of oil, gasoline, or diesel fuel, anywhere in the world now, it's illegal to have any oil, gasoline, or diesel fuel in the engine. So what happened was, no one checked the oil when the owner of the yard said, "Mike, I'll have that prepped for you." No deposit, nothing like that. I know the owner, and I said, "No, don't. I'll prep it, because I know about the oil not in the crankcase." So the man started up the motor with all the dust on it, which I probably would have passed on the machine anyway, just because of that somebody let it sit out in the rain and the dust and the mud. And the motor probably ran for about 30 or 40 seconds, and then it seized up. That was 3 days ago. I said to the guy, "The motor is goodbye." "Oh, no, sir. No, sir. We start the motor." I said, Stop. The motor is goodbye, means garbage. I don't want the machine. Humana, no more. No buy the machine. Voila. And Felix, the guy that you're going to see in the video, he jumps up. He goes, "Okay, sir, we'll get you a new motor." Like that. I'm going, well, wait a minute. What, do these motors grow on trees around here? Felix runs across the yard, probably not, it's in another video, probably not 100 feet away, and comes back with a brand new 10 horsepower diesel engine. So they knew the motor was garbage, and somebody had already gone out that day to get a new motor. And let me tell you what the motors on the motors are very expensive. The motors are, hold on. Yo, Guapo, what's up? You okay? Everything's okay? Okay, mein Buntag. So the they had a motor. I mean, it was like a miracle. It was a freaking miracle, I tell you. So we laughed about it off the camera because that's a different video from a different day from yesterday. You just don't have 10 horsepower diesel air cooled motors just laying around brand new out of the box. So when they brought the motor back to the machine, I was very happy. I'm getting a bigger motor. And I would have thought they would have put oil in it already, considering what they did the day before. You would have thought they would have put oil in the engine, but they did not. And they installed, well, working with them, I installed the motor on the cement mixer. I'm not looking at the comments, by the way. I can't see the comments. But I will be looking at that in a minute. I'll turn it on now. So when John escaped, thank you, Salamat, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that betting thing now, John. Thank you. So when I installed the motor with the men, you will see that my knowledge to do the installation superseded the amount of knowledge that was going to do the installation for multiple reasons. If you could catch that, what's going on. And I will modify the cement mixer. I will modify it. I will do that myself so that I will make a modification that will take a couple of hours so that I could keep the better belts, the V belts on the machine. And because they wanted to replace those V belts with shorter V belts because the motor was too close to what they said, too close. No, it's okay. It's okay. And then we moved the motor up to the cowling, Cowling, cowling. And I moved the motor right up to the cowling. It'll be just fine. It'll just be fine. When I'm done modifying the cowling, it will be like as if it never happened. But the belts were like twice the price, twice the quality. They'll last 5 times as long. And all they really had to do was slide the motor forward. It doesn't seem like much, but they wanted to have the motor centered on the mounters, on the mounting base, the base mounts. I don't know why. It doesn't change the specific center of gravity of the machine when you're picking it up. So you'll see in that video, and this digresses back to Graham. Graham knows that I know about construction, and he knows probably more than I do about construction, or at least as much as I do about concrete construction and things like that. Now, I explained to people why you can't make 40-foot columns, and you can, but you have to make them in lifts. Now, there's probably 5% of the people that make columns in the Philippines know why you can't drop mud from 40 feet high, or know why you have to do it in lifts. Probably 5%. It has nothing to do with the amount of pounds per square inch against the forms. Something, a little bit, it has to do with that, but it's not why you don't drop mud down 40-foot columns. It's not why you don't do it in 6 or 8 foot lifts with a vibrating tool, which I told you was not almost impossible to get a gasoline powered vibrating tool. Now, there was one electric. You want to see how the lockdown has destroyed the construction industry. The one I bought. Why am I buying tools if I don't have permits? Why am I buying equipment if I don't have So is this all going to be a CGI hotel, or are you people going to back down and apologize? Because apparently not. So apparently we're just going to have to keep moving forward with this, and you will, once you see, I'll give you a blow by blow, and then you will go to the building department and say he's working without permits, and I'll bust out a piece of cheese for you. So let me go to my comments. John Escape has been my friend for years, many, many years. So the few people on here, well, we did reduce our inner circle of friends. We always expand and reduce our circle of friends, but John has always been with me throughout the years. So he says, I can tell you all this I have known for years. I have all respect for Mike, and if you don't like him, don't come to this community. And Dennis Adam, who's also has a wrench, so we know that's the real Dennis Adam, says exactly John Escape. So when it was explained on a show that my plans were real, Jack Thompson said, what are they going to say now, that the plans are fake? And I was laughing. I'm going, who could be that stupid? Who could be that stupid to say the plans are fake? Nobody. Me and Jack bantered back and forth with this a couple of times. Well, nobody could be that stupid. And yet, the next day, somebody that stupid and more said the plans aren't real. Okay. All right. So now, and people believed him because that's the mentality of the people on YouTube. So now, where are we going with Michael Fazio just bought a one-bag cement mixer with a 10 horsepower diesel engine on it? Where are we going with that? Wait a second. There's some room over there right next to my bed. I could put the cement mixer over there. Hold on a second. Hold on. Where are we here? Hold on. Where did it go? Oh my God. Let me make room. Oh, I lost it. Oh my God. Hold on. Let me clear out some room. Over there, right between the refrigerator and the clothes cabinet. Move everything away from the refrigerator and the clothes cabinet. I have a one-bag cement mixer I'm going to put behind me for my next live stream. Is that where we're going? With this? So now I bought a one-bag. That it's mine. And I own it. Okay? So what I paid for it, I'm not going to start posting what I paid for it, but you could look it up online and then add 20%, whatever you see online. Because there are no one-bag cement mixers in the Philippines with 10 horsepower diesel engines on the island of Bohol. Now, and then when you look at the prices of a cement mixer for you uneducated, unenlightened, so-called wannabe contractors, you'll see prices for 36,000 pesos, 42,000 pesos for a one-bagger. That doesn't include the motor or the motor installation or the belts. Just the belts require a trip to the city and a measurement that takes hours, hours for the trip to the city and the measurement. So is that a CGI cement mixer that I bought yesterday? Did I just go to that yard and help the men install the motor? Or are you people that fucked up in the head that you can't get it straight in your mind that this is what I've done for a living my entire life? And then we're going to talk about the trolls in another few minutes. I see more resolution, more super chat. Might as well talk about the fucking trolls right now. These creepy bastards that made up a fake Ladyboy channel and put a picture, my real picture. Now, I don't know if the channel is a real channel on a real dating site, or they just made up something with one of their, Photoshops or something like that. But they have these two creepy fucks made up a fake channel, and then they're talking about Michael Fazio being a ladyboy. Now, and we have other more creepy people thinking that that's funny. You people on the internet are so fucked up, it's unbelievable. Just understand this, that no rational person, no police officer, no NBI officer, no Bureau of Immigration officer, when that is going to be shown to the Bureau of Immigration, to show the Bureau of Immigration, I have to go there and defend myself. They're going to see that you creepy little motherfucker, posted a fake Ladyboy channel up on your page and other people's pages, and you think that's funny. It's not funny. And then you're describing what I would do with ladyboys and describing that I smell funny and I stink and I don't wash and I don't bathe, following that other fucking asshole's mental disorder routine. And you think that's funny? Well, when it comes time to go to the Bureau of Immigration, if that ever happens, and I doubt it will, I'm going to present that as my evidence that you people are completely out of fucking control. And anybody that goes along with the two creepy motherfuckers that put the fake Ladyboy, posted the fake Ladyboy channel, and then thinks that's funny, anybody that agrees with it is a bigger creepy motherfucker than the people that made the original fake website or real website. So you're not going to win there. And you're not going to win at all when it comes to making people believe that I'm gay. And that creepy fuck that demanded that he's coming to Bahal, and then he demanded, I'll just go to Bahal, word for word, verbatim, I'll just go to Bahal, and if there's no women around, I'll just give Fazio $50 to suck my dick. And you think that's normal procedure, and you defend him for saying that? And then you twist it around to make it look like I am the person that started this little procedure on YouTube. Well, I have the video saved where the creepy little bastard said it 3 times. And you think that that's going to stand up against me for my resolution to that problem? You're not going to win. I already talked to the NBI about this. So you think that you can say, you, whose face was on the video, clear as day, represented as yourself, 2 key components. You think that you can say that you are going to Bahal, and because Fazio is so broke, I'll just give Fazio $50 to suck my dick. And you think that you're going to be able to get away with that? I don't think so, and neither does the NBI. So I just want to clear that up with you. You can take the video down. I have a copy. And I'm only going to have to use it if you people persist along these lines. And for the creepy motherfuckers, plural, that go along with your sick, demented, twisted little fucking mindset that you believe you should be able to say that kind of shit on YouTube, they're even fucking worse than you. Psychologically, mentally imbalanced, and whatever your agenda is, the conglomeration or the group of fucking creepy little motherfuckers on YouTube, whatever your end goal is, it's going to amount to nothing, because you're not going to prove that because I do so-called shows of comedy, not so-called, but actual comedy shows, and because I do satire, and because I do truth mixed in with satire and comedy, you're not going to prove anything. But what's going to backfire on you bastards is to believe that you can defend some creepy little motherfucker that says he's coming to Bahal. He's going to come to Bahal. He said it. And because I'm broke, he's going to give me $50 to suck his dick. He's going to help me out. That's just not going to happen. Number one, it's not going to happen because he's not going to come to Bahal to do that. Number two, when the time comes, I'll show the NBI that they're already aware of it. And how is that going to make you look like the good guy? And I don't give a fuck what it makes you look like the good guy or not. It's a creepy, low-class, low-life, scumbag thing that you two guys were posting on the internet, that I, using my name or my image on a ladyboy site, whether it's real or not. It's just a creepy fucking low-life scumbag thing to do. Nobody is going to take your side in that matter. Nobody. Except another creepy scumbag like you. So, however many there are, men or women. And I'll go back to the comments now. Crazy Kano. Up to 32 millimeter, Crazy Kano. Inch and a quarter. Dixie's under, and Crazy Kano. If you know about construction, inch and a quarter rebar, it could be bent with a 10-foot pipe, but it's not just a question of bending one piece of rebar. Like if you could, let's say you took an old tree stump, which I don't have on the property, or an old concrete column works good, like a 12 by 12 or 14 by 14 foot piece of concrete column that you have laying around. You could embed pins in the column by drilling holes into the column and dropping 1-inch stock down at various places. But it would take hours to drill a couple of holes. And of course, you'd have to have the column laying around, and then you'd have to have 3, 4, 5 men on a rebar, on a 10-foot piece of pipe to bend it on a 90-degree bend. With the rebar bender, it bends in 1 second, 1.3 seconds, 2 seconds. So something that would take 15 minutes per piece is now reduced to under 3 seconds. So it's number 32 bar are the vertical. Well, it calls for 32 bar on the corners of the columns. The columns called to be 17 millimeters, which is about 16 inches. 17 inches. It calls for 4 on 32s on the outside corners, and then and then 20 millimeter bars, 2 around the perimeter, and then inside core column rebar. And all of those have to be bent, and it takes minutes to bend them. But with the rebar bender, which is bought, by the way, the rebar bender is it's in stock. What they're doing now is they're going to put the rebar bender and the vibrating tool on the floor, and they're going to make a little 1-minute video and say, Michael Fazio, this is your rebar bender, and show me the serial number, and this is your vibrating tool, and show me the tool, and then I will just go get it. So, or they will ship it, one or the other, depending on the lockdown. So the vibrating tool has a 16-foot, it's called a wand, W-A-N-D. And it actually has a 6.5 horsepower gasoline engine. So I started talking about that an hour ago, or 40 minutes ago. To buy a vibrating tool here, not possible to get a gasoline powered tool. Now, you want a gasoline powered tool for that, because let's say you're making a pour, and the cement mixer runs on diesel. Or if you have a pump truck pumping, that's on diesel power also. Diesel pump, diesel truck. Let's say you're making a pour and you have an electric wand, and the power goes out. You can't vibrate the columns or the forms. That's a problem. Now you got to get guys sitting there with hammers banging it exactly the amount, with a vibrating tool, with a good man on a vibrator. You can feel the concrete when it's ready to stop being vibrated. Of course, you would not be able to do that, but I could. So let's go on with the comments. Dixie's Undertale. Dixie's Undertale. Oh, God, that sounds like an ass. Dixie's Undertale. If Dixie was a dog, it sounds like it would be a dog's ass. Hello, Michael. Enjoyed your cement mixer video earlier. Thank you, Dixie. Jollibee Jumbo Dog. Hi, Mike. Thanks for your reply. This comment gives me an idea. Thank you very much. You're welcome. It gives me an idea for sure. Crybabies from Subic and Cebu. That's right. They're unbelievable. Men that know nothing about construction. Nothing at all. I mean, nothing. Why would you? It would be like me pretending that somehow I understand. I don't know, something I don't understand. Like, I have no knowledge of like orthoscopic surgery. I have no knowledge of that. I know that they use, and I think it's called an endoscope or something. They put it in. They put some of them in a blood vessel. They put it through your body. I know nothing about that. I can't pontificate on. Even if I read about it, I wouldn't. I would say I read this, but I don't know anything about that. And you got guys that know nothing at all, zero, about construction, saying, well, why is it that none of these people ever take my challenges? Why is it that I keep for 2 years, and I did show my plans 2 years ago. Why is it that for 2 years no one ever challenges me to come to Bahal and put $10,000 on a table? Which, by the way, they're back out. They're out. They're backed off. Why they won't take the challenges? I don't have $10,000. What if I do? What if I don't? Even if I don't, there's probably a dozen people that would back it up. But what if I do have $10,000? Oh, wait a second. Wait. Hold on a minute. If I don't have money, how am I buying a $4,000 rebar bender? And a $400 vibrating tool, and I don't want to tell you what I paid for the cement mixer, and the lift for $2,000. I already told you what that is. It's already $2,400 for the lift. Where did I what this fucking day what they decided? Mike Fazio, he's a nice guy. I'll give him this equipment. Where did I get this money from if I don't have money? Why can't you wager me $10,000? I'm taunting you now to come into Bahal and put $10,000 on the table of the plans and building department. As the inspector or building inspector reviews my plans and permits and looks at the signatures and confirms them in his computer, and then I take your money. Why is it that no one will do this with me? And why is it that no one has ever tried to do this? And why is it all I hear is that you don't have plans? It's because you guys are a bunch of fucking trolls. You're a bunch of fucking wannabes. You've never underachievers, underaccomplished men. Not because you don't know construction, but because you've never accomplished anything in your life, you feel that other people can't. And because I live in a small 10 by 10 shack, that I have to be poor. I have to be. I have to be poor. I have to smell funny. That creepy little fuck. I bet you he smells like shit. I bet you he smells funny. That creepy fuck that said that stuff, and then all the trolls are following through with that. I really, really, really want to get together with that creepy little motherfucker and have him say that Fazio smells like shit. He doesn't bathe. He bathes in puddles. And, of course, I want that creepy little motherfucker to say, here's $50, Fazio, suck my dick. I really want the creepy motherfucker to repeat that for the authorities or to repeat it in the video. I want him to do that because that's what's going to the NBI, those 3 sound clips that he said that on that show with his face, in his voice. And as he said it, I'll reiterate, as he said it the first time, he said, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. And that's true. You probably shouldn't have said that. But once you did, you followed up with it 2 more times thinking it was okay. And it is okay that you said it. I can't stop that. But what I can do is present that to the NBI and see what they think about it. I can do that. They may not do anything about it. But it wasn't a request that the creepy little bastard said, I wish for Fazio to please suck my dick. No, it wasn't a request. You were demanding that happen when you threw $50 at me. That might be problematic. And I won't forget that. I promise you, I won't forget that. And the other creepy little motherfucker that keeps saying, hey, Fazio made a lot of enemies. This coming from the most hated person on YouTube. And what I liked about that fucking commentary that he made is Fazio made a lot of enemies and he's not hard to find. And he went like this with that crooked fucking smile as if he was like baiting or he enjoyed the fact that I'm not hard to find. I'm not fucking hard to find. But what I like best is Fazio made a lot of enemies and he's not hard to find. And he went with some fucking mouth went one way and his teeth went the other way, sideways, as if he was gloating that I'm not hard to find. I'm not hard to find. I never was hard to find. And soon I'll put my fucking location on a Google map. So I'm easier to find. But that's the part I like the best when he says, Fazio made a lot of enemies and he's not hard to find. And then he went like that with his crooked fucking mouth. I like that part. It's like a fucking moment in YouTube history. All right, so let's get on. Jollibee, oh, wow, we got comments, we got super chat. Lewis Pagan Pots. Let me get the pot. Oh, and another thing, banging the pot. Banging the pot is my gimmick on YouTube. Whether I bang the pot, whether I put the pot on my head, the pot is part of my show. So bring it to the NBI, bring it to the Bureau of Immigration, bring it to whomever, psychologists. And then what they're going to have to do is review every comedy program that has ever been posted on a TV or in a movie or comedy skit or any famous movie star that's ever done anything that's funny, like Jim Carrey with his faces and his, long drawn out, whatever, comedy routines. They're going to have to review that and say, oh, Jim Carrey's crazy, but he made $1 million doing that. And Robin Williams is crazy, but he made $1 million doing that. You people don't get it. They don't care about me banging a pot. They don't care about me putting a pot on my head and banging it. It's part of a comedy routine. So let me get that pot and show you how I bang a pot. And it is my way of saying thank you. And I'm going to get that pot right now. And then I'm going to use the shovel that's attached to my Baby Alive doll that I paid $18 for at half price because it was $36. And Baby Alive is the most in charge person bottom of the top of the bottom of the flat earth, because he's the head digger, Digger, on the bottom of the top of the bottom of the flat earth. He controls all the other diggers. So he's going to be the one banging the pot. And if you'll notice, he's got his little bippy with him today, the little orange bippy, because there's so many people out there bitching. What are you going to bitch about next? Is it going to be a CGI build? What are you going to bitch about next? So let's get over here. Let me get the pot from its perch. Let me get the pot from the perch. And we'll bang the pot. And first we have to bang the pot for John Escape for a major influx of super chat. Plus, John bought me an $80 or thereabouts water distiller that's on its way to the Philippines, I understand. Thank you, John. So we're going to say salamat for the money. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, John Escape. Salamat. And then Louis Pagan-Ponce. I want a front row seat and invitation to Foz Tower's inauguration. Cigars, food, drinks, the whole 9 yards. Not joking, Mike. I want an invite. You'll have one. It'll be a few years, but it's going to happen. Salamat, Louis Pagan-Ponce. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Louis Pagan-Ponce. Salamat, and thanks for all the great comments. And let me go through some. LaRue Seagrass, my friend. Welcome to the machine. LaRue Seagrass is a female blogger. Wait a minute. Move that equipment away from the refrigerator. The cement mixer. I want to put the cement mixer in the house between the bed and the refrigerator. We'll make them all believe I'm building something. Move the equipment away from the refrigerator. Got to put a cement mixer in there today. LaRue Seagrass is a Filipino woman who is a very religious woman, by the way. And she runs her own channel. She does live streams in English and Visaya and understands Cebuano. And she's a very uplifting, very, very, very powerful speaking woman. So if you have a deep faith in Christianity or religion in and of itself, and you wish to know what religion or the concept of Christianity and how people think about it, LaRue Seagrass can give you her opinion on that. So LaRue, you have a ranch. Why don't you please post the link to your channel in case someone wants to go and say hello to you? Thank you. Jollibee Jumbo Dog. They will say, yeah, that was in my notes. They will say that's a CGI cement mixer. That's fake. No, it's real. You can't swallow reality, says Jollibee Jumbo Dog. Why? So, okay, so leading up to a question, or that comment leading me to my next question. Why would I buy a cement mixer? Why would I buy one of those if I'm not building something? I think that's a reasonable question. If one of you fucking trolls want to come on here and say, and I could tell you even one of the what I will tell you is that I'm a man of my word. Now, I have been telling people I'm going to start this project in January. And I started sending out emails for heavy equipment back in early December. So serious requests. Where are they? How much are they? How can we get it here? I spoke with the authorities about this. The project itself, the legalities, the lockdown, and they have no problem with me building. None whatsoever. I spoke with the authorities in regards to some of the things that the trolls were talking about. And they just said, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. They could do what they think they're going to do or do what they want to do. But based on what I spoke with the authorities, not in the building department authorities, the other authorities, they're clear as day. Nothing's going to happen. So you're just spinning your wheels, especially considering who and what they have against me. Calling a guy a douchebag because he posted that I'm a gay man on a ladyboy lover site, and then laughing about it and reiterating comment after comment after comment, in between telling people I was gay, that I'm dirty, I don't wash, and I must stink terrible, and they think that's normal, but I can't call the guy a douchebag. That's because the big guy that heard all of those comments is a bigger fucking douchebag than the douchebag that said the comments. For allowing that to go on his backed channel. He is orchestrating from behind the scenes what goes on that channel, allowing those people to come on his orchestrated channel and talking shit like that about me. He is a bigger douchebag than the people that are doing it, because without his permission, without his assistance from behind the scenes, it wouldn't happen. And then to take their side somehow, you're on the losing side of this battle. That has already been discussed with the authorities. So continue along the lines that you're moving, and I'll just prove everything I said. Okay, Jollibee Jumbo Dog says that's a real account on Pina Love, Mike. I think FSV made it for one of his minions. Now, that's probably not a good thing that he did. Probably took it down by now, but that's fucked up. That's just fucked up. I don't understand why anybody would be. I don't understand. And so that other piece of shit that's orchestrating the channel, if that is a real account, he's allowing those people on his channel and backing up their mentally handicapped decisions or what they say about me being gay and smelling funny and not bathing. He's allowing that. That makes him a bigger piece of shit than they are for allowing that. That's amazing. I didn't know that was real. I never looked at it. I don't even really count. Thank you. John Escape. Aquadilla, Puerto Rico, Louis Pagan Ponce, El Yun National Forest, beautiful. Been there many times. Huh. I don't really care that they made up that. It's not me. It's my picture. I'm sure that people do that kind of shit all the time, but I don't see anything funny involved with it. And I have the video that I can bring to the NBI. It's not like you can't erase the video I have in my possession. So I don't even give a shit if it's on Penal Love or not. It makes no difference to me because I have a legitimate video of the two men, supposedly whoever made that site up, laughing about it and thinking it was a funny thing. So I don't think there's anything funny to that. I think it, well, I'll probably borderlines on like some sort of mental derangement or mental handicap. There's no way to describe the scumbaggery of not just the men that were talking about the dating site, but the scumbaggery of the man who was behind the scenes orchestrating all of this to happen on that channel. It's an amazing thing that you all of a sudden so many people came onto YouTube to bash me when not one person has ever proven that I've lied about anything on YouTube. And that's all they do. When we had some douchebag on there. I don't know where the guy was going with it. I was waiting for him to go somewhere with it, but what was he talking about? Well, I forgot the guy's name. He was going, I've been following Fazio since he got to the Philippines. And by the way, 7 years ago today, January 8th, at 4:30 in the afternoon in America, I left to move to the Philippines. So it's 7 years ago today. I'll do a 7-year celebration video. It took 42 hours to get here. So I can't do the celebration video today and I can't do it tomorrow, but the following day I can do a 7-year anniversary of my arrival into the Philippines. So that guy on that shit show run by that fucking piece of garbage that allows people to lie and deceive everybody about my real person, even though he knows about my real person. I haven't even began to disseminate the truth about him, and I probably won't. I think this shit is all going to end soon. Pretty sure it's going to end soon. And but if I have to, if forced to, I will. I mean, I don't really care. Already one person that was talking shit, two people that were talking shit about me on that shit show, they're already gone. You don't see them comment anymore because the guy who's orchestrating the bullshit, the lies, the half-truths and deceit, behind the scenes, orchestrating everything, he told me information about one of those guys and his particular personal needs during the course of the day. And that guy started running shit about me being fucked up and me being this and me being that. And then when I said, you know what that guy told me about your personal needs, he's gone. You don't even see him on the fucking channel anymore. Not under his name. Why? Because it was the truth, what I said. And the other guy, he's got no business at all talking shit about me. Another underaccomplished underachiever. You people think you're going to somehow make me feel inferior because you have 75 people, troll accounts. Oh, and the troll accounts, 75 troll accounts talking shit about me. That's not going to happen. I'm on the high ground. I am correct. My words are true. None of the shit you people post. I'm not gay. I'm not on a ladyboy site. I didn't make that website up if it exists. I don't even give a fuck about that website that because I can't do anything about it. If I get upset about it, you'll make another one. If I don't get upset about it, you'll say he's not upset about it. It's fucking wrong to do that. I wouldn't do that to somebody else. But the piece of shit that's orchestrating this from behind the scenes, that piece of shit knows it's wrong to do it. And because I called him a piece of shit, now he's orchestrating a group of trolls to come after me. And what? For what purpose? For me to back down? Ha, it's not going to happen. Do you think I'm going to believe that other shit show? Oh, he made a lot of enemies and he's not hard to find. And then he goes with his fucking crooked mouth. That scares me. That don't scare me because I don't care. I never cared and I'm never going to care. What the best part of that soundbite out I got was when his mouth went like that. And he was kind of like laughing. He's not hard to find like that. So he was basically threatening me. I don't care about that. I told you before I don't care about that. And once before, I said this so many times, once before in real life, I made the offer to settle this thing. I made it clear as fucking day. And I did it in front of 35 people. And somebody crawled up into a little fucking ball and didn't want to go. And that's okay. But as long as you people understand, the opportunity was given and it wasn't accepted. So I dropped it. Because of a fucking guy that had a big mouth for a year and a half, that he was going to come here, he was going to kick my ass, he was going to collect money, I owed him money for this, and I didn't owe him any money. Apparently he fucked up. Apparently he did something illegal by saying that. And that's the person that you people are taking sides with. And then he comes, he's not hard to find. I don't care about shit like that. That's a threat, by the way, and I'm going to present it as such, by the way. I just want you to understand that I've been very busy. I told you I was starting the build in the first week of January, and I did. I've been very busy. I have over 1,000 phone calls in the last 2 weeks, whether they're redials or not redials or new phone calls or emails and phone calls on WhatsApp. I had to install that stupid thing on my phone so I could talk to people in China that don't understand English anyway. It's a foreign language to the people in China. I'll send them a detailed email, where I live, what I want, when I want it, the port of destination from Guangzhou, China, and whatever Chinese port it's coming from. And I get on WhatsApp with them yesterday, one of the suppliers, and Sir Fazio. They're very pleasant. How many pieces do you want? One piece. Where do you live? Do you have my email? Yes, sir. It's on the email. You live in Bohol, sir? Yes, sir. Okay, sir. So, where do you want the equipment delivered? It says Bohol, yeah? Yes, sir. I'd like it delivered to Bohol. Why am I the contract, item 1, concrete, this, that, or that, and this, and I want it delivered to the port of Bohol. Can you deliver it to Bohol? After all that, after I wrote them the contract, after I wrote them what I want, after I specified the port of delivery is Bohol, after I did all of that, we'll get back with you. So a few hours later, the phone rings because it's on the phone. when I put that WhatsApp on my phone, apparently there's a messaging thing back and forth where you can message. I never knew that until just a few days ago. Now it's, Sir Fazio, we can deliver that machine to Manila. Well, but that's not what I want. Well, if it gets delivered to Manila, you think it's easy buying stuff here in the Philippines during this lockdown? It's not. If it goes to Manila, well, I have to get a customs broker in Manila. Let us check. So just 2 or 3 minutes goes by. Yes, sir. So now I would literally physically have to go to Manila to hire a customs broker for the equipment that's on the dock, waiting for me to move it from Manila to Bohol. And I would be at the mercy of a customs broker and what he wanted to charge for a job. Because I already did this with one customs broker. The price doubled before a very short period of time. Complications, all because he didn't do the paperwork properly. The price doubled. He forgot to tell me that I needed a tax identification number and an NBI clearance. I had the tax ID number, but I didn't have the NBI clearance. So I had to wait 21 days, 21 days, 21 days, and it was accruing 60 something dollars a day plus port fees. So it was almost $100 a day. And then when I got to Cebu to pick the equipment up, I gave them, I had to pay the customs broker, I gave him 225,000 pesos for the taxes, for the port fees, for the shipping, docket numbers, and things like that. It was up from 100,000 pesos to 225,000 pesos. It doubled, which I paid. And then I had to wait 5 more days after I paid him for my paperwork to go through, which was another 25,000 pesos, $500 in port fees. So even after I paid the dock fees, the docket fees, the shipping fees, the broker's fees, the Port of Cebu's fees, even after I paid that, still monies were accruing at about $100 a day. It's not easy shipping stuff through the Philippines. And I know how to do that kind of stuff. But in America, you just go to the dock and you speak with the dock master and you get all that stuff. It's different here. I knew that it was going to be complicated. I had no idea I was going to be raked over the coals because of a new ordinance that was put in place that some people were aware of and some people weren't aware of, which stopped me from getting my equipment the day it was delivered. I had to get an NBI clearance. That was a new thing. Only just the NBI clearance documentation request was implemented on April 23rd of 2019, and my equipment arrived on June 23rd of 2019, and I paid the broker a deposit by going there, 85 or 90,000 peso deposit. It depends. There was 5,000 pesos for some bullshit stamp, but I paid him like 90,000 pesos when I first went to Cebu. And then after, when I was in Cebu, he said, there's a complication. You need an NBI clearance. And I'm going, well, you didn't tell me that. He goes, it's new. So because of that new clearance, it was 21 days at $100 a day in late fees. They don't care. Not coming out of their pocket. So I paid all of that stuff. Now I got to go to Manila. That guy could say in Manila, he could say, well, the fees, normally the fees would be $1,000, but being that there's a lockdown and it's 2,000, so it's 50% of what the machine costs. They could say any price they want. Once the machine is on the ground, it's costing you X amount of pesos or dollars per day for it to be on the ground in Manila. So the guy could say any number and I just have to pay him. I don't want to do that. So thank you, Louis Pagan Ponce. Next. They will say it's a CGI cement mixer. Yeah, they will. All right. Let's see. Let's go on. LaRue, to my dear friend Dennis Adam, hello, good evening to you. Please extend my greetings to your wife, Dennis. Thank you. John Escape, Louis Pagan Ponce. Yes, it is. You need to go to the Philippines. Yeah, actually, we already made those arrangements, John. We're going to try to get everybody here on the same day. This guy, Morphix. Troll. Thanks for blocking him. As soon as Mike is done with the hotel, I will make it a point to be there. Just goes to show Mike has international viewers. I can't say the same about other vloggers. LOL, says John. Yeah, the other vloggers, what are they going to say when I start building? Oh, well, I know they're going to report me to the, what the fuck was that? The labor force or something here? Or the building department? That's all they're going to say. They're going to cry when they get the results back from that as well. I have followed Mike for a little over 6 years now, says Louis Pagan Ponce. He deserves good people celebrating his soon-to-be hotel masterpiece. Thank you. It should be an all-out shindig. It will. Well, depending on this lockdown is how far I'm going to go with the hotel. I will make new arrangements for me to live on at least the second floor. And I will have rentals on the first floor. And I already have those rentals set up. Not just what is going to be on the first floor as rentals, but I already have agreements to when the first floor is ready that people will take the first floor apartments to do what it is that they want to do. And I have an idea as well. So for my location, and what's going on in my general area, renting my first floor out will be no problem at all. Finding a Filipino or Filipina to be my legal partner at 60% their ownership of the business and 40% mine, that's already taken care of as well. So there are no legal issues with me renting the downstairs. So if you think you're going to go and take this video somewhere, when I make the rentals from the first floor, it will be in the name of a Filipino partner, and they will be the 60% shareholder of the business. I have no problem with that. See, business is something that most of you people don't understand. And if you'll notice, you hear every word I speak, as opposed to some of these fucking people on YouTube. How many times do you listen to somebody talk on YouTube and you don't understand their words? Or you have to stop everything you're doing and go like this because they speak with an accent, or because they speak without pronouncing the words properly, or because they speak too fast. The words would be understandable if they spoke slower. How many fucking times? How frustrating, how aggravating is that? And yet, when I try to correct somebody that they're speaking too fast, and then send them a public link to how to do proper public speaking, I get chastised now. Now it's going on several months, abused and ridiculed because I gave them positive feedback on how to speak publicly. And the douchebag that runs the channel from behind the scenes, the man that's doing all of this chastising and organization of shit that says he's not, he knows damn well I'm right. But apparently, the prick, the little prick, the big prick, the other pricks, those pricks, all of them that are involved with the chastisement of Michael Fazio, common sense is gone. It's out the window. Now we're just the gang mentality. And isn't that what the scumbag said 2 weeks ago should not happen? We should have, not word for word, we should not have to choose camps. And yet he chose a camp. And now from behind the scenes, because he's a fucking coward, that he doesn't think anybody knows what he's doing, he's chastising me by using Fat Slob vlogs, by using that man named Andy, by using the other douchebag with the crooked mouth. He's by using the troll accounts, 4 troll accounts, by someone that said they don't want to have anything to do with the internet anymore, and now they're using 4 different troll accounts and allowing all that shit to take place. And no matter what they say about me, it's a good thing. And when I call them douchebags for abusing me and chastising me, I'm a bad guy. Fuck you. Okay? This is YouTube. I can't stop you from chastising me, but I don't have to agree with it. And I certainly don't have to follow through and acquiesce to your fucking request that I apologize. Fuck you. What would I apologize for? Am I going to apologize because FSV and that other guy, if it was them, made a Ladyboy channel, and you agree with that and you allow that to be posted on your channel day after day after day? You think that's normal and I have to apologize to them? Why? So that they will stop doing it? If I apologize to them, which will never happen, they'll just continue with some other stupid fucking gimmick that they have. So again, I will say, you allow that, you orchestrate that, you intentionally allow that to happen. Fuck you for allowing that to happen and pretending that that's okay. It's okay to put Fazio's picture on a Ladyboy channel. It's okay to call Fazio fat. It's okay to call Fazio a fat gay man. It's okay to talk about Fazio's fat gay lovers on the Ladyboy side. That's all okay. But I'm not allowed to call the guy a douchebag for that. Fuck you. I'm allowed to call him a douchebag for that. Okay? Now, does that make us even? Does not make us even. What it does do, it gives me a very nice case with the NBI to bring it to their attention. It does do that. I've already spoken about it on the phone. It definitely does do that. You can't remove it. I have a copy. Now they're going to review it, and of course the transcripts, and then they'll decide what to do. But apologize, because I have to apologize for You're chastising me day after day after day. 8, 10, 12, 13, 14 accounts. 4 of them, I know the names and who's behind it. I'm out of this picture. I don't want to be. And yet, those were the troll names that were used as far back as a year and a half ago. So how did somebody remember those names, or does someone still have those names? Fucking people are a trip. That will be a live stream, says Louis Pagan Ponce, of the dentists will make a lot of money following the following day, because of the gnarling of the teeth that is going on when Mike proudly shows his hotel. The gnarling and gnashing of teeth, that's a biblical term. The gnashing and gnarling of teeth. That reminds me of the fucking guy that said, not hard to find them. Like that. That looked a lot like the gnashing, and that's a fucking threat, by the way. That you said that and then laughed about it. That's a threat. And that's the fucking mentality that you have. I would never do that. I don't need to do that. Well, I don't want to do anything physical. I want to make it all legal. Well, I want to make it all legal too. So first chance I get, I'm going into the city and I'm going to talk to the NBI office about making it all legal. That's my plan. So now you know. All right. Woohoo! Jollibee Jumbo Dog. That's true. Still here, host LaRue? Thank you for your support, LaRue. Louis Pagan Ponce, Mike and Ray. Oh, yeah. I remember fucking, I recorded this. Oh, God. I won't tell you what I recorded. Boy, there's a fucking soundbite. I got a soundbite coming up for you people. I got a soundbite that's going to end all soundbites. I just have to. I'm not real good with splicing shit, but I'm going to take a soundbite out of a video. I guess I could take a picture with my camera of the soundbite itself, and then just upload the soundbite. Mike, in retrospect, knowing all you know now and all the money you have spent, do you think it would have been easier or cheaper to hire a local firm to do the hotel? No, Louis. I went to, well, there's Chester, Chester, Chester and his wife. I forgot her name. I think her name is Emile. I went there. He was supposed to give me a price, and he came and gave me no price. And I said, we'll do it on Sunday. It's hard to get a contractor. But he didn't have the tools to do the job anyway. He doesn't have a rebar bender, and he didn't have a cement mixer. But he built 2 houses on my block without a cement mixer and without a rebar bender, but they're all like number 6 bars, 7 bar maximum. So he was going to give me a price, and him and Daisy and Amel and we were going to get together for breakfast and go and sit down at a restaurant and put the plans on a table. So Chester and his wife, very nice man, came he was supposed to be here at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning, and it was freaking hot like you wouldn't believe. I mean hot. It was one of those blaring hot days. And he got here like at 11:30, so that made it even hotter. So I said, let's go to the restaurant. I just don't have time right now. So already that he was an hour and a half late, and he wasn't traveling from Cebu. He was in Tagbilaran, at a hotel in Tagbilaran. He was an hour and a half late. I was done with him because he was late and didn't call. I shit canned him because he didn't call and he was late and he didn't want to even go look at the plans. He said, just figure, what was it, 20,000 pesos per square meter. What are you, fucking nuts? I could build for 8,000 pesos per square meter. I could build everything. That's tile, kitchen cabinets, everything. I could do the building for 8,000 pesos per square meter. And I got another price from a contractor I knew for years who started out at 12,000 pesos per square meter for a custom job, which was reasonable. And then when I brought him the plans and permits a year later, said I'm ready, he wanted 18,000 pesos. So it went up 50%. I said, why the difference in the price? Well, we're busy now. I said, but you raised the price 50%. You already quoted me a price for the job. Yeah, but it's 18,000 pesos. So he changed the price. So one guy came late and the other guy changed the agreement by 50%. And that has nothing to do with the particulars and extras. And I said to the guy, okay, but we're going to have to use a cement mixer and a lift on the job, not mixing cement on the ground floor and humping buckets up to the second or third or fourth floor. And he said, no, I don't want to do it like that. My men don't work like that. So that was a done deal. So if I hired a contractor, there's people building buildings bigger than my building by hand. It works out fine for the contractor and the men. It's time and materials. There are people building buildings now 3 years on my block that Mike. All right, so we have 22 men on one job. 22 Chinese men built 4 stories and 134 rooms in 6 months, finished with tile and windows. 22 men on another job here doing, those were Chinese tile men and Chinese rebar men and Chinese carpenters, all legitimately brought into the Philippines with their tags for their workmen's compensation and the price that's paid to the Bureau of Immigration. And then we have another 22 men that are building a structure here now 3 years. They're not anywhere near done. It's only 12 rooms. So I don't want to work like that. And they're doing everything by hand. They're mixing cement for a 16-foot by 34-foot long pool, 8-inch concrete walls. They're mixing cement by hand. I don't think that's the way to go. They should have had a pump truck come in and pump it all one, what they call a monolithic pour. So it's not so easy here to build, and getting somebody to keep their agreement. The guy was only 40 minutes away and he was an hour and a half late. And he knew that he had to be here at 10. We spoke at 4 o'clock the day before. I said, just be here on time so we could get into the restaurant before lunch, because at that time it was a busy season. But no, it's I'll just do it my way. I know how to build shit. So we have a guy saying, scammer, they're going to deport you. And that message was hidden. But would you like to explain how I scammed anybody, please? Let them post that in the comments. Thank you, Dennis. You could do that, Dixie. Cement half of a red brick, or some what you can use also inside the cement mixer at the end of the day is, if you could find a 2-inch bluestone or an aggregate of like 1 inch to 2-inch bluestone, because that gives it a good tumbling. But the idea is to not let the cement build up in the mixer. The hollow block maker, Lewis, the hollow block mixing batch mixer, well, it probably wouldn't be necessary, because you can use a cement mixer to make that. So, but the other part of that is just about $1,500. So I'll figure that out right now. So you have 40 by 60. 40 times 60 equals 2,400 plus 2,400 plus 2,400 plus 2,400. Well, I'll clear that. 12,000. 12,000 times 30 pesos equals 360,000 pesos divided by 50. You know, if the blocks, I don't know what the cost of a block is, but if the blocks are 34 pesos per block, that we're looking at about $9,000 for cement blocks, and the machine costs $1,500. Then you have, of course, the materials and the labor to make the blocks. You could probably make those blocks for 15 pesos and cut the price of the blocks down in half. So you could cut the price of the blocks down to 4,500. And you'd still have the machine at the end of the job that's worth 1,500, 75,000 pesos. It would probably, oh my God, I see. Thank you, Paige. Salamat. I think it would be a money saver to have that machine on the job. And I looked into getting one. There are none for sale here, but it also requires room on the property. But that's not a problem. I rented a separate piece of property to put equipment on, and the containers of course have to be moved. So I rented another property already. It's done deal. It's already done. I did that a long time ago. And so I would have room for that machine if I could find one. And if I can find one, I will do that, being that I have the cement mixer. So I could save an estimated 250,000 pesos, but I could have the blocks on demand whenever I wanted them. That would be a big plus. And you see how easy it is to make those blocks. The one thing I forgot to say is, Paige, I will get to you in a moment. Please don't forget, scam. Oh, God, this is going to be good. The cement blocks, to make 5 cement blocks takes, let's just say it takes 2 minutes per block, 15 pesos per block. It pays to have that machine, because that's why people have the machine and make their own cement blocks. it's a question of space. But now that I made arrangements to take over another entire property for storage, I should have room. Now I have to look for the machine itself. So thanks. That's a good question. Now we have, thank you. Then, now, I have not seen Paige. Happy New Year, Paige. Ma'ayo Pasco. Salamat. Thank you, Paige. And Paige High is one of the more intelligent, if not by any standard. Okay, we're not being facetious and we're not ass kissing. I say this whenever Paige makes a comment. Paige is physically, literally, actually, and in real life, a full doctor. He's a doctor. It's his intellect at a much higher place than mine when it comes to education. My education is limited to a college regents diploma, which is quite an asset, and of course my airframe and power plant jet mechanic licensing and my 38 years in construction. But Paige High is actually a literate person. I mean, his understanding of words supersedes mine. His ability to read new material probably supersedes most people in the world. As a doctor, he has to have that ability. So I am honored by Paige coming to my channel, and thank you very much for. And I'm honored that I have such intelligent people on my channel. So that other fella saying they're going to deport you, what are they going to deport me for? Calling some douchebag a douchebag because he posted a fake dating site or was laughing about a fake dating site? I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. And but anyway, Paige High said, "Did I hear scam? Consider it done." So Paige High is just scamming all the trolls. He's scamming you. And remember, as Paige High does, and remember, it is always better to give to Michael Fazio than for Michael Fazio to give to you. But before I bang the pot, let me reiterate a little bit about that something. I hear douchebags. I mean douchebags. Mostly men, or all men, really. All the men douchebags on YouTube that are saying, I am a scammer. What did I scam people from? How did I scam them? How do I make people super chat me? How do I make people give me money for things? And then if they gave me money for a specific thing, Paige High once gave me money to go out to dinner. And I think Daisy and I went out to dinner the next day. That's not a scam. Other people gave me money to buy Daisy a pair of earrings. Remember that? And a nice hat. And we went out and bought Daisy a nice hat. Other people gave money for Daisy's Zumba outfits. And we bought the Zumba outfits with them. We did not go on vacation or spend it on alcohol or anything like that. So how is it a scam? And then when I offered to return the monies that were given me, if you think I'm scamming you, and the offer was declined on multiple occasions, well, then that's not a scam either. So how am I scamming anybody? It's not happening. You cannot prove that. How am I scamming somebody if I collect super chat and spend it on diving? Oh, and by the way, I am probably the most outgoing, certainly the most outgoing personality on YouTube when it comes to the Filipinos. And when people say, all he does is live in that shack. No, that's not true, you piece of shit. That's not true. I go scuba diving at 3,000 pesos per day. I go snorkeling on snorkel boats at 1,500 to 1,800 pesos a day. I've gone on more vacations than most foreigners could ever dream of. I I pay rent. And now I'm renting 2 properties, not 1. And that goes to my landlord. And my landlord feeds their family with that money and their needs, and their extended families with that money. And on Christmas and New Year's and on certain other days, fiesta days, the excess money that comes from my rent that my landlord possesses, they feed the entire neighborhood with that. None of you say that. You're all a bunch of selfish bastards. You don't sit down in a restaurant unless someone donates the money for you. I go to restaurants all the time. I just don't post it. Last night, I sat down at a nice restaurant and had some cheeseburgers with eggs, cheeseburgers, toasted bread, special sauce, side order of special crispy. Make a video. I have 10 videos waiting to get loaded. But I hear stories. I don't just sit in the shack. And plus, I have spent more money on tools and equipment and importing tools and equipment and supplies into the Philippines in the last 2 years than most foreigners spend on rent, car insurances, dental, and medical. I've spent more than most foreigners have spent. You guys think that you spend $600, $700, $800 a month? I double that on average, most months, on average, over the course of a year. So fuck you all, where you breathe. I am not sucking the community dry. I did not. That little scumbag, that creepy little motherfucker that said I went to the food bank and stole 5 bags of food from the food bank. That's a fucking lie. And that creepy scumbag that runs the channel that allows stuff like that to be posted, the guy behind the scenes, allowing that kind of commentary to be posted on his channel, or he's behind the scenes running the channel. That's a fucking outright lie. You can't prove any of that. Nobody can prove any of the shit you say. And yet, day after day after day, I get chastised. So for that, fuck you all where you fucking breathe. And that piece of shit man that's behind the channel, that feeds these people this kind of information to say on the channel, that is going to the NBI. So don't worry about throwing me out of the country. Worry about the people that you're getting in trouble for saying that. Notice how that piece of shit doesn't post his picture or his face in real time on the channel. Why? Because he knows. And why is he doing all of this? Because that piece of shit broke so many rules and so many laws. He could have been deported for what he said to the other piece of shit. He could have literally been deported for what he said to now his close friend. That's why he switched sides, because he knows what he said was definitely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, illegal. So he had to switch sides to get everybody against anybody but him. Do not think I don't know what and why you did what you did. No matter what you say, the reason you switched sides and took up with what we, or what many people once called the enemy, is because you stupid bastard, for saying what you said on YouTube against the other man and his Filipino wife, when you called them such and such, so and so, when you said they did such and such and so on YouTube, when you said those things, you committed crimes against what is called social laws in the Philippines. So you had no other choice but to make somebody else out the bad guy. And being that you are such a manipulative scumbag, that's the road you chose, but I know why you did it. And everybody else knows why you did it. You did it to save your own ass. You didn't do it because you liked the other guy. There's thousands of correspondence between you and other people that you despise the other guy. But because you realized you could have gotten thrown out of the Philippines for what you said about that man and his wife, you had to backpedal, kiss ass, and any other backtracking personality disorders that you had to come up with, making the other guy the fucking hero so that you wouldn't get thrown out of the Philippines. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Peitai. Salamat. And Peitai, I know you never gave me your email address, but I would be happy to put you on the private. I have a private list of people, but I would keep you separate. I have a private list of people that I would keep you separate on, that any of my new loads that go to my Patreon members, I would send to you, but you would not be associated with any other email addresses. So if you choose to do that, plus I have a list of about 107 videos, my favorites that are on Patreon and not on Patreon. I would be happy to send those to you immediately if you provided me. Go on to one of my old channels, one of my old uploads, post your email address. It'll get spammed. Post it as an email address. It'll get spammed, but I'll be able to read it and I'll send you an email. So if you would do that for me, I would appreciate it. And thank you very much, Peitai. It means a lot to me. Now I will tell people that there are at least, there are 2 doctors that admit that they are doctors. Then we have Graham, who's some sort of an engineering, in my opinion, supervisory engineering position that probably built skyscrapers of much higher up on construction than I'll ever be or I ever was. And then we have multiple police officers, and now I'm going to talk about a guy that doxed a police officer on multiple occasions. It's been recorded, so you can't undo it, and you have your face saying the words. Now, I don't know, it's not me, so I can't do the actual charges, and I don't know that the police officer that you doxed is going to do something about that, but now that's 4 times that we have your face and you saying the words and the position, the location, and now additional information. And you think that's fucking normal. That's because there's something wrong with you inside your fucking head. That is probably Kevin Tuttle says he's a police officer and you doxed him, and he says he has a case against you that you won't know about until you go to America. And at the time of arrival in America, Kevin Tuttle says the possibility is real that you'll get stopped by U.S. Customs and detained. Now, I don't know that that's true or not, but that's what Kevin Tuttle put in a commentary about 2 weeks ago, and 3 weeks ago, and 5 weeks ago. He's pretty sure that's going to happen. Aside from the fact that some people have to leave the Philippines, and they may not. There is a law. I read the law, and I'm gonna read this to you. I'm gonna actually read this law to you. Hold on a second. I'm gonna Google this, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm Googling. Overstayers, overstayers in the Philippines. overstayers in the Philippines. Okay, so I'll just to let you know what I Googled is overstayers in the Philippines. Now I'm going to read the law. When I press enter, and I'm going to press enter, the law is going to pop up at the top of the page here. And here is the law. So I'll read it and then I'll post it. It says, regardless of the type of Philippines visa obtained, overstaying a permit can incur severe penalties. Overstaying a permit can incur severe penalties. You are considered to have overstayed if you have exceeded a maximum number of days your visa allows. In the worst case scenario, offenders will be deported and never allowed back into the country again. Now, I know that that's probably not going to happen. I know that's probably not going to happen. But it is the law. And it could happen. With the new lockdowns and everything that's going on, it's possible. So just let me get that under a 200 character notation, because you can only post 200 characters at a time. I'm just doing 307 characters. So I have to. That should be under 200. 204. Okay. All right, this one is, let's see if this works. Yeah, 167. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to post that in 2 parts, and you can read it, and you already know the rules, but I just want to post this for anybody else that doesn't know the rules, that overstaying. Now, in addition, I want to post something, I want to add to myself to this. Wow, what happened here? Why did that happen? Hold on a minute. I screwed up. Okay. I screwed up. Well, I didn't actually screw up. It grabbed the whole paragraph. And now, all right, so I'm going to have to do it this way. Oh, boy. Okay, I have to, it opened up again. Hold on. It froze up my program. When you copy something off of certain websites, it puts metadata in the background. And the metadata sometimes freezes up the computer, especially if you have an old computer like mine. So this is 140 characters. That works. And then I'll post the other half now. Okay. Copy that. So I'll post it in 2 parts. And okay, so it's posted in 2 parts. Steve Montelli, thank you, my friend Steve. Steve Montelli is another. You know, there are some really, really, really smart people on my channel. Steve Montelli did not become the head of what he does for a living regarding elderly care without being reliable, professional, intelligent, and worthy of the position. Because as Dr. Page High is a doctor, you're only allowed to make a few mistakes, if any at all, in your field, Steve Montelli's field, or Dr. Page High's field, or my field. My field as a jet mechanic, not allowed to make a lot of mistakes. Depends on what they were, but like say you forgot a 9/16 wrench and you left it in let's say you were working on a hydraulic line on the landing gear on the where the doors where they close, and let's say you left an inline hydraulic wrench somewhere in there. Well, your name is on the wrench and your color. That's why we color and name everything in the airline industry. So for one, nobody can take your tools because they're expensive. And two, if you leave your tools somewhere, it could come back to you. Like you working somewhere and you leave the tool somewhere and another guy in your hangar or shop sees the tool and they say, okay, it says Michael Fazio on the tool. And then it has my color, yellow or blue. Well, you're not allowed to make a lot of mistakes. So, but if you left that tool in an aircraft that took off and the aircraft landed in California and you were working on it in New York, that's a bad thing. You probably wouldn't get fired for that, but it wouldn't happen too many times before you did get fired. Well, Steve Montelli has allowed a few mistakes, if any, as well as Paige High and Dr. Clark Henderson. So there are a lot of intelligent people making intelligent comments. And this law that I'm talking about is the law, but it may not apply to people right now today, but it doesn't mean the Philippines won't change their opinion about the law to keep out the bad element. Michael Fazio, have been deemed a bad element in the Philippines. And yet, when you watch my videos yesterday working with 4 different Filipino men, we got along just fine. Even when I had to offer my services and my opinion to make something go smoother, it was in a professional manner. It wasn't yelling or screaming at them, because these are grown men. These were actually, and I'll tell you one other piece of information. All that you see in the video yesterday, happens to be a friend of mine's property that he started about 12 years ago, but I've been friends with him for 6. And when I walked into that yard, for whatever reason, I won't tell you the guard's name, but let's just call him Nestor. Nestor says, "Good morning, Michael." I said, "Good morning." He says, I have some things to do in the yard." "Okay, sir." They know I'm not going to steal anything. They know I'm there for business. And the yard already has a phone call that Michael is going to be in the yard doing something. So you people think that I get along with people that are intelligent. Now, the men that were working on the machine yesterday, and I had to give them advice to shift the motor forward, to put oil in the machine before they started it up because they forgot or it wasn't in there when the next step was to start the motor. There was no argument. There was no yelling or screaming or gnashing of teeth, because those were men. It's only the children that I would get a little bit more upset about. Somebody that didn't know what they were doing and wanted to continue along the wrong line of reason to install the motor. Let's say the fella chose, no, we're going to put the smaller belts on because they're shorter. That would have been an option. It would have been an option to put the shorter belts on the motor. It would have worked. But the belts are half the thickness, half the quality, and they last 1/5 as long. Had I just been some schlep off the street, they would have done the smaller belts and centered the motor. But they know that the owner of the whole complex sent me there to supervise the job, because I bought the mixer. It's my mixer now. But all I requested from him is that I supervise the startup of the mixer, considering that they blew up the motor the day before because they started the motor up without oil in it. So he said, "We'll prepare another motor." No. I'll go there and prepare the machine myself, if you don't mind. And he said, okay. So all the people in the yard, everybody, off camera, when I made a request for whatever it was, somebody went and did it. I requested a new tire. The one they had showed me was pretty beat up. I said, Polyhog, replace the tire. So we will have to go to the tire shop. Okay, please go to the tire shop. And they went to the tire shop and they brought me back a decent piece of rubber. But if I was just a clown off the street, if I wasn't personal friends with the owner, I would not be allowed even in the yard. Did you see another foreigner in the yard? Did you see another foreigner assisting the installation of a motor repair in a construction yard? You did not, because I have a personal working relationship with the owner, and he knows my qualifications. For whatever reason, he knows those qualifications. He does. So you people out there that are trying, he's going to get what am I going to get deported for? For what reason? And the flimsy piece of evidence that I heard about that I could get deported for, I don't think so. I doubt very much they're going to deport somebody that's going to invest somewhere between 8 and 12 million pesos in the Philippines. I don't think they're going to throw me out of the Philippines. I don't think so. And I don't think because I called somebody a douchebag because they put a fake game dating site up with my face and picture on it, and then make fun of me stinking and smelling like a sweaty hog. I don't think I'm going to get deported for that. So bring it on. Thank you very much. So Steve Montelli is in the house. Thank you, Steve. All right. So Page High says, oh, no, you have emotional intelligence and intellect. Very few have. Your content is real and legit. Salamat, Mike, from Dr. Page High. Thank you, Page High. So now here I'm being complimented by the top 1.5 or 2% of intelligentsia in the world, doctors, pilots, doctors, and airplane pilots, big jumbo jet pilots, and of course scientists, nuclear scientists. They're all in the top like 1 or 2%. So here I receive a very high compliment. Oh no, you have emotional intelligence and intellect. Very few have. Your content is real and legit. Salamat, Mike. Thank you, Dr. Page High. Thank you very much. Louis Paganpunts is back. Can one machine make both 4 and 6 inch blocks, or are they two different machines? No, they're the same machine. The machine works like this, Louis. This is the mold. The mold is in what looks like a milk crate, but it's a big milk crate. So that milk crate that you saw the 5 blocks being made in was the milk crate with the mold for 5 cement blocks. You can change that crate and the configuration of the mold to make 3 8-inch cement blocks, or you can change the configuration of that mold to make 4-inch by 4-inch by 8-inch blocks, or 4-inch by 4-inch by 12-inch blocks, or 4-inch by 4-inch by 16-inch blocks. All you do is you remove the crate. It's an insert. You just pick the crate up and you put the other mold in place. It takes about 5 minutes, if it takes that long. So you can make cement blocks, bricks, blocks, solid blocks out of that one machine. Now, that's that machine that you see in the cement mixing machine standard. Every block maker in the Philippines is using that size machine, but they make bigger machines. They make machines that instead of being able to make 5 blocks, you could make 6 or 7 or 8 blocks or 10 blocks. They make machines that you just dump the bank material, the pre-mixed material into the top of the machine, and it makes the blocks automatically. And you drive the machine down a roadway on a flat surface, and it drops the blocks out of the back of the machine one at a time, like pieces of candy, like bubble gum. It just drops them down on the floor, one after the other, after the other, after the other. And that's how long it takes to make the cement blocks. As fast as you put with the machine from yesterday, those 2 men were working about as hard as humanly possible, not because I had the camera on them. That's how fast they work, because they are getting paid a certain amount of money per day. What you didn't see was the woman, let's just call her Unicorn, okay? That's not her name. Unicorn comes over and counts how many blocks are made per day. And she has a ledger, an oversized ledger book. It's 14 inches wide. It's 20 inches tall. And in that ledger book, she has whatever the man's name, Paul and Joseph, making cement blocks. And they started at 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, those men probably, I could ask, those 2 men, based on the fact that I was there for 3 hours yesterday, and they never slowed down. Either they are required to make a certain amount of cement blocks, and that's how many they make a day, or they get paid by the block. And if I had to make a choice, I would say they got paid by the block, because they never stopped. And they worked exactly that hard from the time I got there to the time I left, that yesterday. Same thing the day before, same thing 2 weeks ago, same thing 3 weeks ago. I've never seen them slow down. So they probably get paid by the block, and it could be, as the blocks sell for 30 pesos per block, they might get, I don't know, 3 pesos a block, and they do 400 blocks a day. That's 600 pesos a day per person. Now, if I bought that machine, I would let the Filipino men make the blocks and pay them by the block. That's how I would pay them. So, and then if they made 100 blocks, they got paid for 100 blocks. Because you would be surprised when you work in piecemeal to do a job. The job gets done a lot faster than time and materials. So, I think the way to go would be to buy that machine and pay the men by the block, and it would be profitable in many ways. So that would be, the machine could be reconfigured by taking the basket or the milk crate out and changing what is called the die or the mold, the DIE or the mold. You can change it to almost anything. You could make round ornamental capstones for the tops of pillars, or you could make the capstones square capstones. You could make so many. You can make as whatever the mold is. If you go to a book like where you can buy molding, prefabricated molding, it's the same thing with that machine. It probably has, that I know of, 25 different designs you could make. So that answers your question. Are there any good machine shops in the Philippines? A good one is hard to come by here in Puerto Rico. Oh, yeah. We have several really high-quality machine shops here. We have machine shops here that you could bring Um, I don't know. You can bring anything you want to them. Any motor from any piece of equipment or a car, a truck, or a motorcycle, and the engine will come out on a lift, and two men or one man will be designated for that piece of equipment. I've seen 600 horse engines in the machine shop, like 1272s, Caterpillars, where the engine was broke right down to the crank, to the bearings, and they change the sleeves, they do whatever's necessary. Yeah, there's two good machine shops like that in Bohol that I know of, and there's no reason to look for a third. But yeah, there are machine shops that do that. I really have their attention now, Jollibee says. Well, what are they going to do when I put the camera outside and start live streaming me taking the excavated material that was backfilled into the footings that I did 2.5 years ago? What are they going to say? Oh, he's working. Oh, yeah. I'll give you the telephone number to call. Steve Montelli, the Philippines vlogosphere has taken a major shit and don't get the intelligence of the Fazio. Thank you, Steve. Steve Montelli. Oh my God. Mr. Obama, he wants to say hello. Steve Montelli is in the house. Mr. Obama, you have anything to say? Oh, Steve Montelli, please. Would you please leave a light on for me? Hey, did you hear about when? No, I can't say that. It's an Obama joke. And but Steve would get it. It has something to do with. I won't say that. Anyway, Steve Montelli, Mr. Obama, he loves you. Mr. Obama, how much do you love Steve Montelli? All the way. All the way. Is your love, can you describe your love for Steve Montelli? Oh, yeah, the Bee Gees song, How Deep Is Your Love? So you're saying how deep is your love for Steve Montelli by saying how deep is your love? He knows already, Fazio. He knows that. He knows that. He knows that what happens when we get together is I'm always trying to tattoo his heart. You're what, Mr. Obama? Yeah. When Mr. Montelli and I get together and he leaves the light on, I try to give his heart. I try to leave a tattoo on Steve's heart. So how do you do that? No. You're not going to tell me, Mr. Obama? No. It's not allowed. So I should just take your word for it that you love Steve Montelli? That's right. Steve Montelli, I want to give you a tattoo. I want to put a heart on your tattoo. I want to put a tattoo on your heart, Steve Montelli. Okay, Mr. Obama. Mr. Obama, like all good Obamas, go over there, Mr. Obama. I got to tell you, that's a little scary, giving Steve Montelli a tattoo on his heart. I got to think about that for a few minutes before I say anything else. You're welcome, Steve Montelli. Jeremy Burt. Yo, Michael. Hello, Jeremy Burt. Welcome to the machine, Jeremy. What I will tell you is that shortly, let me check something. Hold on. Now I'm using my phone. I haven't used this phone 2 years. I haven't made a phone call from this phone or got a message on this phone, and now, yo, hold on a second. I think I got something on the phone. Yo, you have a delivery for Fazio? Fazio from Lazada? Who? What is it? Is it what? Okay. All right, good. Salamat. There's no addresses on the houses here, and they go by name. And I don't know the last name on most people's. I know their first name, but he found the man. That the man came out. So the food chain, Steve Montelli, Bourdain, and I want hot dogs in Jollibee spaghetti. And Tony is tough to get a hold of nowadays. Okay, we lost. All right, I lost a comment. Jollibee, Jumbo Dog. There are many intelligent people at the top of their field that engage themselves here. That says something in and of itself. All the other channels have trolls and kind of sheep that are at the bottom of the food chain. That's true. Steve Montelli, Bourdain, and I want more hot dogs in our Jollibee spaghetti. God, Steve. Now is that you? Okay, so I got to tell Steve Montelli a story about New Year's Eve. I got to tell Steve Montelli a story. I'm going to tell you all a story about how a buffet, the most expensive buffet in Bohol, was the Henan restaurant, which was 1,100 pesos, $21, $22. Okay, or the Bellevue, which is 1,500 pesos, and it's just not worth $30 to eat at the Bellevue. I don't think the food is any better. There was Bellevue. All the buffets are closed down now. There was shrimp, barbecued shrimp, and some prawns at the Bellevue that were not available at the Henan in the size prawns and shrimp for the buffet. But the difference of $10 more, I just don't think it was worth it to go to the Bellevue. So the mentality of the people here, I don't know if it has anything to do with the mentality. I think it just has to do with the upbringing and food structure, what they're used to eating, is that, well, I went to the prawn factory. They had a buffet last year. It was 7-8 months ago. And there's now, me personally, I think for the 385 pesos, I think it was a reasonable price, but the quality of the food was not that I would ever go back there again. It was okay. It was edible for sure. It was okay for sure, but they used to have, the food that they had was good quality, but they used to have broiled snapper, like fillets, like a fillet like this, broiled. And they used to supply a calamansi, which is lemons or limes, but they didn't have that last time. And they used to have shrimp that were big, and now they have if I use the term, somebody will say I'm degrading the quality of the food, but there are the shrimp that are sold and prawns are sold by the number. Like the number 7 prawn might be that big, and the number 1s might be this big. So they used to have like a number 6 prawn or a number 6 shrimp, where when you bit into it, it tasted like shrimp. but no longer is that the case. So I wouldn't go back there. But the buffet at the Hen Inn that I went to about a year ago, this is in line with Steve Montelli's more hot dogs in the spaghetti comment. That's why I'm mentioning this. The food at the Hen Inn, they had unbelievable good food. I mean, just everything is cooked perfect. Everything is high quality. Everything is a magnificently displayed product. They have unlimited scallops with a garlic and cheese sauce on them that in a restaurant in America you would pay $15 for a dozen scallops. But they put tray after tray after tray after tray, tens of thousands of scallops. If you want to eat 200 scallops, you eat 200 scallops. If you say to them, I will just take one tray of scallops over to your table, they say, okay. So they have tenderloin, just one after the other, one roast, like 10-pound roast after the other, fried shrimp, spicy octopus, spicy pizza with good toppings, spicy pizza with pepperoni, with sausages. They have unbelievable. Me, I don't eat, and they have bread that tastes fantastic, and butter, real butter. But I eat what I like. I like the barbecued ribs, spare ribs. That's one of the most expensive meals you'll get anywhere in the world. Barbecued spare ribs. They just put tens of kilos of spare ribs in a tray, and they disappear as fast as they put them in the tray. And you'll go to that buffet and you'll see the foreigners eating. Oh, they'll eat everything, but the Filipinos will take a bowl of rice that big. They'll take 5 scoops of rice and they'll put 3 shrimp on top of the rice, and three sushi, and maybe 2 or 3 prawns. And they'll eat that giant bowl of rice with just a few pieces of meat because that's their natural food supplement. That's what they eat. And yet they still pay the same $22 for the meal. So they have spaghetti with hot dogs at the Hen Inn. They have it. It's a bowl of spaghetti with those little red food dye number 6 or 9 hot dogs. And they'll load up on a plate of spaghetti, which costs nothing for the Hen Inn to produce, when they could be, eating like a king, pounds of shrimp and pounds of calamari. And you can sit there for 4 hours. You get there at 10 minutes to 6, you sit down, and you can sit there for 4 hours and chew the fat with your friends or whoever's around. I'm always going to find somebody that's there that I know. And you can sit down and enjoy a leisurely meal of the best foods possible for $22. It's a good deal. But the Filipinos will get a bowl of spaghetti this big and put a couple extra hot dogs on it. Why would anybody spend $22 for a bowl of spaghetti with those red hot dogs? I don't know, but that's their eating habit. Steve was making a joke, but I see that to be true. And I love hot dogs too. Not these red hot dogs they have in the Philippines. They interfere with my stomach, but I don't eat them anymore. So Jollibee hot dogs. I love hot dogs, especially Jollibee jumbo hot dogs. Now, I've not eaten a Jollibee hot dog ever. I'll try that. My cousin is a pilot for a major airline. He flies an Airbus A330. That's the big ones. That's pretty cool. And thank you for sharing that. So let's see if there's more. Steve Montelli. I live next to an A320 pilot. He said the move from the right seat to the left. Okay. Now Steve is talking pilot stuff. I lived next to an A320 pilot. He said to move from the right seat to the left because of the side stick is a difficult transition. But what Steve is saying is that when I learned how to fly, I sat in the right seat. That's the co-pilot or student seat. The left seat is the pilot seat in all aircraft. It doesn't matter whether it's a Cherokee Warrior 3875 Charlie or or a commercial airliner. The left seat is the pilot seat. The right seat. So the instrumentation is going to be different. So for people spend 10, 15 years, I guess Steve is trying to say they spend 10 years, 15 years in the right seat. When they make this switch over to the left seat, certain instrumentation is going to be located in different places. So just because of muscle memory, you're going to have trouble making the transition, I think. Steve is only working. Okay, so Mr. Obama, come back over here. Mr. Obama, Steve has something to tell you. You look for yourself, Mr. Obama. Oh, no! 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 You want me to tell you why, Mr. Obama? Oh, no, yeah, okay. Remember when you and Michael went into the hotel, motel, No-Tell 6 with Steve? Yeah. That was a few years ago, right? Yeah. Remember when the two of you were banging things against the headboard? Yeah. Michael won. No. Is that true, Mr. Fazio? Oh, yeah, that's true, Mr. Obama. There was a contest and Michael won. Oh, no. I have to go home and talk to Michael about that. Thank you, Mr. Fazio. I'm upset. Ah! Ah! No, Steve Montelli. I love Steve Montelli. I was going to tattoo his heart. Now I'm looking at it. Tell you what, Mr. Obama, you got a consolation prize. Go ahead, cry. Ah! 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 Oh, there you go. Have a bippy on me. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, he likes that. He likes the bippy. Yeah, we calmed them down like a little, we calmed them down, Steve. So, what I got to do is I got to look at my mail. Hold on a minute. Now, LaRue, thank you for stopping by. Steve Montelli, he knows about that the headboard game. That's right. LaRue, thank you for stopping by. And I asked you to post a link to your channel. I'd appreciate it if you do that. And ladies and gentlemen, it's 1 o'clock and I have an appointment at 2. So I'm going to be saying thank you to everybody for stopping by and salamat for John and Paige, Sir Paige. Hi, Dr. Paige. Hi, thank you. And Louis Pagan Ponce and Dennis and Jollibee Jumbo Dog and Steve Montelli, of course. And let's see, this message. Jollibee Jumbo. They are just shit on my shoe. Yeah. Yeah, the cement blocks again. Yep, that works. Let me see this other comment. That's Jollibee Jumbo Dog. Now, he is right. I missed this comment. Jollibee Jumbo Dog says, Screw that big prick. He's a condescending prick, asshole, H-O. And he is. And he did this for the reason I specified before. He was in jeopardy. He was in jeopardy of being deported from the Philippines, in my opinion, and his opinion. And it was possible to have him thrown out of the Philippines. So he had to coagulate a grouping of trolls to come after me to make him look like a good guy, to alleviate and to eliminate the threat of him getting tossed out of the Philippines for what he said that was illegal, that was probably a crime. I don't know. I can't say it was a crime. I can say it was probably a crime. And that other guy, for a year, said that what he said was a crime, and he was going to prosecute that big asshole for such crime. So he had to backpedal, back out of what he said. And the best way to do that is to make somebody else the fall guy. And he chose me. Because there might be a certain amount of arrogance in my voice, backed up with a whole lot of intelligence, a lot more than most people could ever begin to comprehend. And you'll start to see that once I go back to work. So thanks for watching, and I'm going to post some videos about a commercial bank, RCBC commercial bank. The location of the bank, you're going to see a guard with a shotgun standing at attention. He asked me to make a video of him, and I did, along my normal attic long or comedic intent. I added a little bit of fun to the comedy, to the actual blog. And this was a very nice, very, very nice man with the shotgun. However, we were all laughing. The people in the background that you don't see were all laughing. We all had a good time. That video is going to get posted. And the reason I'm going to post that video is because I'm going to have to start transferring money from one place to another. And that bank is the bank I'm going to work with. Because in my other bank, they have 3 branches in the city, but the minimum wait, is typically from 45 minutes to 3 hours. That's too long to wait in a bank. That's just too long. So the new bank, I will not be given special privileges. There won't be like a senior citizens line that you move right up to the front. But I will tell you that there are 12 highly trained people at the new bank I'm going to post the video of. And in the other bank, it's almost as if the people that are in the positions of the cubicles are new to the job. In other words, they're in a training process. The bank I'm going to recommend, I guess they're all seasoned bank personnel. I don't know how to explain it differently, but every question, every possible scenario, and every requirement and request I made was answered pretty much by the person in the booth. They didn't have to go outside the booth. At the other bank I deal with, they might go to 2 or 3 people before it goes to the manager. And then the manager comes over. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of confusion. So I won't mention the name of the bank, but I'll tell you what it was about. Why should there be confusion in this? So the law in the Philippines is I made that comment public, by the way. The law in the Philippines is as such. Banking law. To get a bank account, I'm not going to tell you. You have to be here for 6 months before you can apply for a bank account. And after you fill out 4 hours of paperwork, you get your bank card. That's pretty cut and dry. Any bank, all banks, same. But then you have to have a minimum balance of 200 US dollars, 10,000 pesos. If you go below that, they start to take $12 per month out of your account for a service charge because you have money in their bank. They're charging you $12 a month, which is 5% a month. So I had not much more than 10,000 pesos, just under 11,000 pesos in that account, only to have a tertiary account in the Philippines, so that it doesn't build up credit, but it's just money in a different place. That's all. I went into the bank that I told you have to wait 3 hours in, and I said, how much money do I have in my account? And she said 775 pesos. It was about that, like $14. I said, what are you talking about? How much money do I have in my account? 770 pesos. So I knew I had 10,777 pesos. So I said to the lady, that's just not possible. I did not touch this bank account for 4 years, 5 years now. It's been the same money. It's been in the bank for 5 years. And one thing I can be sure of is that nobody else touched the money. It wouldn't even run through my mind that somebody else took the money. And they didn't. I said, can you check on that? So she had somebody else come over and look at the account. And I said, how much money is in my account? She said 775 pesos, whatever it was. It wasn't that number, but it was close. I said, could you put that on a piece of paper, please? Yes, sir. So they put it on a piece of paper. And I said, how is this possible? It's 4 years that I haven't been in this bank at all, even through the door of the bank. So 4 times 12 is 48. Let's just round it off at 50. So if they would have taken 50 monthly payments of $12 out of my account, because my account went less than $200, that's $600 in bank fees. The bank would have been, not only would there not have been money in the bank, but the bank account would have been closed out, or I would owe the bank money. Who knows how it works yet? I don't know. So I said, well, I haven't been here in 5 years, 4 years, 4.5 years. If you take 50 times 12 is $600. Yes? Yes, sir. And $600 is 30,000 pesos, right? Yes, sir. Well, I only had 10,000 pesos in the bank. How do I still have 775,000 pesos in the bank? So we'll have to check. Okay. So they get the manager over. And the manager tells me the same thing. So you have 775 pesos in the bank. And I'm going, so I showed him my calculations on my paper. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have 10,775 pesos. That took 40 minutes for them to understand what I asked 45 minutes ago. It took 45 minutes, 2 representatives and the manager, to clear up something that should have been easy. How much money? So when I was saying to the woman, how much money do I have in the bank? 775 pesos. That's impossible for so many different reasons. So this new bank that I went to 2 days ago, RCBC Bank, I'll make specific. The next video that I have loading is, I'll show it to you so you know what it's going to look like. And for that guy, that one single prick out there that immediately gives me 16 thumbs down on every video I post, thank you very much. Hold on, it's opening up. That's a very, very low IQ man's way of saying, look, I gave him 16 thumbs down every video. So what does that guy have to do to give 16 thumbs down? He has to change accounts 16 times and sign into 16 different accounts. I don't know how long it takes him to do that, but talking about low IQ. So here is it's going to be public tomorrow, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, this is the name of the video. So this is the RCB Bank. I'll write down the name of it. In fact, you know what I'll do is I'll just give you the link right now if you want to take an early sneak peek at the video. And it's called the RCB Bank Proud and Courteous Security Guards on the Job to Assist Your Needs. And I'll give you this in the chat window. And you people are welcome to take an early sneak preview at it because I'm going to post it tomorrow anyway. So let's get that up on the screen for you people. Where is that window? Okay, let's shut that off. And here it is. So this is my next video that I'm going to post. And this, in the video, I believe it's this video where I give you directions from the BQ Mall and McDonald's to the bank. If it's not this one, it'll be the next one. It's a commercial bank, and being that once I start working on the hotel, I'm going to carry insurance for the men. There's a link. It's an easy access to a broker that covers commercial insurance for men. So and it's cheap enough to get here. Let's just say a man's salary is going to be less than 200,000 pesos per year. The insurance, when the last I checked, was 2,000 pesos for the year. So it's a very small percentage. It's like 1% of their salary for the so 2,000 pesos a year gives a man $500,000 pesos in medical and workmen's compensation. It was I said to the fella, I says, "Are you sure? Are you positive about this? Can you show me, the book that you're reading?" Because he's doing it out of a book. He showed it. He turned around. He has a chart. 2,000 pesos for the year for a man that earns less than 200,000 pesos a year gives him 500,000 pesos in medical coverage. So I got that covered, and I'll give you people a video. I'll walk you through how to get to that office in Bohol, in Tagbilaran City. We'll go upstairs first and reintroduce myself to the man in charge and tell him that we're about to start, and he knows about me and all what he needed to know legally. He has already, and I'll walk you from his office to the front entrance of the bank, and then show you where the office is in relationship to the front entrance of the RCBC Bank. And then I'll give you directions to the RCBC Bank from the BQ Mall. So from the bank to the mall, you could see it. It's a clear shot. It's about it's over 1,500 feet, and it's less than 2,000 feet. So it's less than a half a mile. It's probably just over a kilometer, or just about a kilometer. So that's am I at work? What do you mean, am I at work? I'm doing a live stream. Is that work? I'm not sure what work is anymore. I'm doing a live stream. It's a kind of live streaming is a kind of work. I pay taxes on my income, BIR taxes for the Bureau of Internal Revenue Service. I pay taxes on that. So I guess I'm at work. Yeah, I'm at work. Go tell the authorities I'm at work. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will say thank you. And please, oh, there is one more surprise. I said it in yesterday's video. I would be surprised if I didn't take the cement mixer home with me yesterday. And surprise, Felix, he brought over a tire. This is off camera. And I looked at the tire. The tire had been out of air for, oh God, I don't know, years. And what happened is the rim sat on top of the rubber and broke through the sidewall of the tire. And he said that here's a new tire for the machine. I said, that won't work. Well, I don't know. He disappeared with the tire and the rim. And then he came, he couldn't get it to work. So then about a half hour later, at 4:30, he went by me on his motorcycle, on his hobble with just the tire, no rim. And it took him every bit of about 35 minutes to get back. So 5 o'clock, the men stopped working. So he got back just a few minutes before 5 o'clock, and him and I installed the tire. And he went out and got a new tire, but not a new one, a used tire. And we put it on, and I didn't get to bring the machine home because I'm not really prepared to bring the machine home, because over there, right there, next to the refrigerator over there, next to the refrigerator, I have like 12 bottles of water. And then next to that, I have a dresser with clothes in it. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to remove the water bottles and the dresser of clothes so I could get the cement mixer and put it in the house. But first, I have to remove this wall behind me, because I don't want you to think I don't have a cement mixer. I'll be hiding it outside. So I'm going to remove the wall behind me, and then I'm going to move that stuff over there. I'll move that stuff out of the way. I'll take this wall out, and I'll put the cement mixer right in here next to my bed. So I'm just not ready for the cement mixer yet, but I own it. So thanks for watching. And next time you see me, I'll just be able to pick this camera up, and I'll be able to face it towards the refrigerator. And there you'll see my cement mixer. I'll keep it in the house so it doesn't get dirty. Yeah, that's what I'll do. And thank you very much for watching my crazy videos. And God day to everybody from Michael Fazio in the Philippines, baby. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for the intelligentsia comments. And thank you for the stupidity. And thank you for letting me know that you're going to get me thrown out of the country. That information always comes in helpful, because then when I put my package together to bring to the NBI, I'll add, at least I'll put on a separate drive possible other information that they'll be very interested in. Thanks for watching. I'm Pink Permy from Michael Fazio in the Philippines, baby. That's right. And everybody knows what I'm going to do next. I'm going to tell you people that everybody has a gimmick on YouTube. I got dozens of gimmicks. If you call having a baby alive doll that has anti-gravity boots on its feet because it walks on the bottom of the flat earth with the anti-gravity boots which glow in the dark. They glow in the dark. They glow in the dark. Those are anti-gravity boots. That's a gimmick. Mr. Obama doll, that's a gimmick. Bang a pot, that's a gimmick. If you call that scamming people, I think you're mistaken. I think you're going to be surprised what the NBI and the Bureau of Immigration will be considered a scam. Salamat. Bang a pot. I made a lot. Bang a pot. It's an honest living. Bang a pot. I made a lot. It's an honest living here on YouTube. Roll, roll, bang your pot gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 we collect the super chat, aka the dream. All right, baby. And that ends the show on the count of 0, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.